How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Pete's Carport. And on today's video, we're going to jump back into the sc300. I'm talking about the red one that we just recently added our OBX headers to, and also did a couple other things like took the front bumper off. We're getting it prepped for the Plasti Dip, which is going to be a pearl white, so I hope you guys are excited about that. But I was not overly excited about the exhaust sound I got by doing the header. So on today, I'm going to play around with removing the actual mufflers, keeping the resonators on there, and we're going to see how that sounds and go from there, and maybe make a custom pipe, either a straight pipe or something with a small resonator on it coming out the back, so we can make this thing sound like the 2JZ that I was hoping it would be. So stay tuned. It's going to be a pretty fun episode. It's going to be quick and easy, as these rear, basically they're just like not a cat back, obviously, so it's going to be the axle back. So you've got cat back systems go all the way from the front catch, which I've already done the mid pipe, so that kind of removed the cats. And then you've got axle back, which is basically right from your rear axle back, and that's what's on this car. So I'm going to go ahead and jack it up from the rear differential, get some jack stands under there, and show you guys exactly what I mean. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Harbor Freight. This is a low-profile, rapid pump jack. I love this jack. I picked it up for, I think, $79.99 on sale. It runs maybe $89.99 or $99.99 normally, but there's always a coupon specifically for this jack. So do a search online before you go and buy this. But I highly suggest this jack. I have a couple of them. What you're going to want to do is, since this is low profile, we can get underneath these lowered cars really easily. And the best way to jack this up is going to be to snag it on our rear diff. Let me see if I can get under here and show you. Well, you can kind of see it. It's right there in the middle. So I'm going to line this jack. We're going to start jacking it up. And then I'm going to put some heavy-duty jack stands under here so nothing falls. But you can actually see where this exhaust bolts up right there. It's going to be two simple bolts, probably a 14, 15 millimeter. I think it's 14 like all the other pieces on this exhaust. And then what I want to do is take this to a muffler shop, have them cut off the muffler, and run a bend a straight pipe to come down here with the mounting, and then either put tips on there or put some resonator tips on there, depending on how loud this is and how much it resonates inside the car. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to have this thing jacked up, and then we'll continue. Anytime working under a car, make sure you do everything as safe as you can. Now, with this jack, you can actually slide it deep under there, get it right on that rear diff, and you're out of any harm in case something does slip. Once I get it jacked up enough to easily slide some jack stands in, I'll start with finding a good frame point to just slide a jack stand under. This way, if the jack stand slips, or the jack slips while I'm jacking it up, it falls on the jack stand, not on me. So I just wanted to fill you guys in on that. And as I go higher, I'm going to raise those jack stands up and hopefully be able to get one more right in the middle. Okay, so as you can see, I have a jack stand here that's right on a nice part of the frame. Always check your jack stands, make sure they did securely go in. You want to lower your jack onto those jack stands. Now, I was planning on putting another jack stand in the middle, but what I did, since I have plenty of room to work around, I just left the jack jacked lightly up to it, the car is resting on the jack stands, but the jack is kind of my backup. So I left that on the rear diff. Now, to the exhaust part, it's actually an 11 millimeter on these axle back parts. And it's easier for me to get this back side here. And these came off pretty easily. With exhaust parts, you typically want to throw some like lubricant on there, liquid wrench, WD-40. But these seem to come off really easily. And typically you have to hold both sides, but it seems like by doing this, the other side is not turning. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one off, and then I'm going to work my way to that side. This should only take a couple minutes. I just wanted to fill you guys in. Okay, guys, this one's off, and I'm about to pull that one off. I'm just going to fill you in on how easy this was. So this is just some nuts coming off, or bolts coming off here that are actually attached to the pipe, which is kind of cool because that holds it in place. And then, like any other car, you've got your mounts here, which slide into a rubber piece. A way to get these off easier, a lot of you might know this, but if not, spray some WD-40 or some kind of lubricant in there, and then all you need is a flathead screwdriver, and you can just pry this rubber piece off. Sometimes you can get it down in there and pull it like that, but they do come off quite easy. You just got to be patient and kind of wiggle them. I'm going to go ahead and do that. The other side now. These are quite heavy, so do be careful. Once you pull that off, it will slide out and fall. I'm going to get the other one off, and we're going to be able to start her up. So that was really easy. It's a simple thing to do to this car, specifically because the axle back part of the exhaust is bolted on, unlike many cars that are just a straight pipe weld where you've got to cut them. So this is a very easy modification to do to get the sound that you want and play around with different mufflers, etc. So stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and get that off, and we're going to do a semi-cold start. I had to start it up to move it over in this area, but I'll get you a semi-cold start, and then we'll get some revs for you guys. Alright guys, so I honestly did not expect it to sound this good. I thought it was going to be too loud, but as you can tell, at just idle, I have no problem talking. Inside the cabin, I can barely hear anything, but when you rev that, oh, it sounds absolutely insane. It's the 2JZ sound that I was looking for. You know, all the videos that you watch, all the movies that we've seen with the 2JZ sounds, I feel like this is closest to it that I've gotten out of this car so far. Now this is OBX header mid-pipe, and all I've done is taken off the muffler. So stock resonator, which you can see that one right there. It's got the other one on the other side. And that was my next thing was, do I remove that? But I think what I want to do is keep that. Now, any restrictions you have, it's going to limit horsepower, but you're talking 1 horsepower, maybe 2. But all I'm going for really is the sound and not the horsepower. Not that I would not want the horsepower, but that's the OBX mid-pipe there going right to there. That's the stock pipe there. So that, of course, could be changed out. Obviously, you could delete the resonators and go straight back. So my next step then is come out the back with some sort of tip and have something custom welded. It probably won't be very expensive because they can use some of the parts off of the exhaust I have now, because there's kind of that flange there, and instead of having them build another flange and having to pay that, I can probably cut that flange and have them weld right onto that. But I'm going to bring them up and I'll fill you guys in. So the project's getting there, guys. We've got the sound I want, just got to build the rest of that part. I've got the car prepped and we're going to be painting it. After we do all this and we get the bumper done and the lights all done, it's going to be on to possibly swapping these rims out, even though I do really like these and I want to see how it looks with the pearl white. I do have a surprise set of rims that are a little bit bigger and a completely different style. And then we're going to go to the manual swap. So that's really it. Hope you guys like this video, and I hope that kind of helps anybody out there that's looking to do this type of thing. There's a lot of these SC300s out there still at decent price. I see them all the time, and you can get an awesome sounding car, 240-ish horsepower, and you can probably push up to about 280 naturally aspirated with just a few mods that I'm going to be doing. And then outside of that, you've got to go turbo, but that is a simple thing to do. Probably the least expensive car to turbo, and the stock block can handle a small turbo, and a swap is extremely easy to do for a larger turbo setup. So once again, my name's Pete. This is Pete's Carport. I hope you guys are enjoying the SC300 2JZ content that I've been putting out there. I've also been doing a lot of W140, as we have 2 of them right now in the shop. I also have the W126. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, share, help me build this channel so we can start doing more projects like this. Have a great day, guys.